No more football talk. I'm the bookworm. I don't understand sports. Thermal imaging. So this is the real deal. This is a FLIR Pro 1 LT. So what that means for you is that mechanics and firemen use this on the daily. So this actually saves lives and hopefully finds dead ones. So that's a new comic joke. I don't have to use that one. So with that said, I'm red, orange, and yellow, right? So sorry, Josh, but that means I'm the hottest thing in the video. So I got all ladies. I got to play to it, right? We're looking for blue and black spots to actually be moving on their own. So again, there's always going to be blue and black in the frame. However, we're looking for it to move, make shapes, kind of make formations for us. Does this capture something every single night? It does not, but when it does, holy cow. So it is amazing. So we absolutely want this thing running most of the time. However, we will do a few start and stops with this guy as we kind of go through.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
So you're going to keep that camera on your left. You're also going to notice a blue dot. So the camera is right here on the left side. So there's going to be a blue dot on your screen that will always give you the coldest point in the frame at that second. So we're kind of looking for different variations. You also have a cheat bar on the right-hand side of your screen.
Okay.
That gives you the highest and the lowest temperature. I'm looking for anywhere between 20 plus degree differences. So that will not be in the recording when you guys get it back tomorrow. You will have to look for the blue dots. So I will kind of spot check it and see what I find.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know that car was pretty.
These girls are like, what? It's like fun.
Fred Hoyer.
Hoiberg?
Hoiberg.
Freddie Hoiberg?
Yeah, your coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a pacer.
Yes, he was.
Oh wait, I did it.
Indiana connection.
Yeah,
Spirit boxes.
Fred's actually a good friend of ours.
What'd you do? Oh, there you
We're
go.
good.
We're going to be using several different types of spirit boxes tonight. So spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. So on your TV shows and YouTube stuff, this is where you hear the white noise, and then your host, like Zach Bagans, will tell you the BS he thinks he heard in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So with that said, this one is going to be slowed down. What does that mean for us? The radios, DJs, the song lyrics, the commercials, that stuff will be coming through. We want it to come through. You guys aren't trained to be listening to just white noise all night long, and with history, somebody's going to fall asleep. So it's a 50-50 shot. If something comes through, I could tie it to the location of where we are, a person in history I'm talking about, or even something going on with one of us. It happens all the time. So with that said, I'm going to get this one set up. Yeah, I told you, it's a science lesson. So the girl seems pretty excited about this one, so I'm going to pass this off to one of them. So I'm going to give you a set of earbuds. Who wants it? Who got the most excited? Okay, I will give you a set of earbuds in just a moment. We're going to be using 2 of these. This one will record the entire session for us. So the cool thing, I'm going to set this one up to record so you have a full recording back. It's going to sweep through the FM radio stations. It will not hear any of us. It will also record even when it's on mute. That is the cool thing about the recording you're going to get back tomorrow morning. I will spot check it, and I will give you 15 to 20 markers, whether they're relevant or not, to be able to kind of go through them. So at like 5 seconds, if it says Big John, I will write down Big John at 5 seconds and then tell you that we were at Big John's, and then give you the link to kind of show you the exact location, if that kind of makes sense. So if it's not relevant, it's just a way to help train your ear on how to listen to the rest of the recording, on that way things that are actually going to stand out. So your volume button is at the top, by the way. You have a little wheel at the top. Don't hit the button, it will shut it off, especially yours because it's recording. So I will give you a set of earbuds here in just a moment.
This isn't going yet, is it?
Oh yeah, it's recording.
Oh.
Stop pointing it at places you don't want it to be pointed at.
Checking it out, Mom.
Am I?
Oh, Brad.
You are. It's actually kind of creepy.
Something as simple as black dots moving on
Is
their
somebody
own. That shouldn't be.
cooler than the
Or it
others?
could be
Let's see.
like
It's like,
lighter
who's
blue
cooler than the
shades
other ones?
forming to
you
become
are- I'm gonna go on
a
your
darker blue
forehead.
shade, which means it's
Because I
getting
don't know what else
colder,
to do.
and then it will actually move around a bit.
4.
So
94.
I'm 94. What's Christy?
Christy, you're
97.
you're like
you're hot.
This is very COVID.
you're like
So hot.
you're 90. 90. Whoa. Just a second.
Next spirit box.
Thanks.
As she's experimenting.
Yes.
Because there's a couple more things I need to get through before we start playing around.
Yeah.
So,
This is very serious over here.
I know, right?
Making sure it's not COVID.
We're good.
We're good.
This is the spirit box that will give us a word from time to time in the center of the screen. It's going to save all the words to a list. Most of the words that come up on the list are 80% BS. Doesn't mean anything. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. The other 5 to 20%, I'll actually be able to tie to the person, the location, or something going on with one of us. Again, we're going through very specific details with some of these places. So I'm going to clear out the last list that I did, which was 2 nights ago.
And what's that called again? I'm sorry.
This is a digital spirit box.
Oh,
So the name
okay.
of it's an app,
Yep.
which of course all the apps and stuff that I
Yep.
use
Okay.
on a regular basis will be listed later. But again, with this one, all we need to do is you need to pay attention to the words that are coming up, and then you hit the white scroll there, and it'll bring up all the words that we've had so far. You don't need to show me every single word.
How often am I? Okay.
I'll come to you when I want to see the
When
list.
I need to press the button.
Right.
Otherwise, just walk and
You got it.
focus on that.
I think we just want to make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to be the one that's.
And that's okay.
We don't want you messing up over
Right.
there.
Exactly. I was
Or
gonna
you're
say.
gonna see whether you did something wrong right here.
What about your spin feet and your camera?
I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm doing.
You're 93.
Your spirit box is open air.
I
It's
think
nice
I've
and
heard
easy to
that
use.
one before.
So this is the
millimeter?
standard one that we see on TV. This is called an
Millimeter?
SB7.
Oh, an SB7. Okay.
Yeah, so I have a millimeter too, but it does something completely different.
Okay.
We're going to go through that next. So you also have one button to worry about. It's on the side right here.
All right.
Hold this little button up to get some volume. You just got to give it a second. And then you hold it down, obviously, when I'm talking to the whole group, so that way I'm not screaming over
Okay.
white noise.
Sounds good.
So spirit box.
And it just says stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Spirits are in trouble.
Take a set of earbuds.
Going down.
Much easier to hear with earbuds.
I got it.
All right. She
So you'll
mentioned
tell me when to turn it up.
Oh yeah,
I feel like we plug this in to the...
millimeters. So this guy actually does 3 different functions. So the first thing that it does is it's going to measure electromagnetic fields. They say that the spirit world can actually manipulate that and cause pretty big spikes. It also helps us debunk a lot of things. So if the big numbers on this guy go above 2.5, then I want to know what's going on. The bottom number, if it's going to work tonight, this probe is getting a little touchy, will give us ambient temperature. So if we can see something that's going on in a thermal imaging camera, you and I will be able to prove or debunk it based on the bottom number. It also has a REM pod built into it, which means it's going to detect motion. If something gets close to the antenna, it will go off. The closer it gets, the higher it's going to go. So again, we can also use that as kind of a call and answer. It goes a little haywire here because we're right next to some wires. So kind of keep that in mind. I will show you more about the millimeter part at our first location. Just leave the little flap, the little flap open and pay attention to your red numbers for now.
Don't mess it up, girls.
That's
I will.
right.
All right.
Lost you.
No.
It's got a number in my
You got a pocket?
anything.
Something?
Nah.
So you don't have to carry it right with you, but you can put it in a pocket.
Put it in your pocket.
Can I go like
Put it in your
that
bra.
and-
She's good.
Can I put it in a, like here?
It's all sanitized. We're good. So,
Do you have a pocket or something, Mom, or not really? No, I only got this.
I can do it.
okay. So this is going to do the same measurement as her big number. So
Okay.
her 2.5 is our second green dot. This only goes to 25. I've
Okay.
seen her spike out at 200. This is just kind of the first indication that
Holy
something is actually
smokes.
going on.
Okay.
That 0.8.
Sounds good.
2 devices.
So what do
4.
All right.
You're ready.
5.
Wait, so am I pressing this little scroll when you tell me to?
Yes.
Is that okay?
And I just hold it.
Yep. Nice and simple. All right. So
We're rule followers.
we all have tools and
I
devices.
hope we're a good group for you.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm not worried.
Okay.
We'll be the best group. Best
Absolutely.
group
I like these
Look at this
girls.
confidence over here.
No, like the
I
positive
just don't want to
energy.
fail you. That's what I feel.
What are you failing me for? It's your tour.
Let's do this.
Let's talk about why we started here.
Okay.
We're at Big John's. You guys just ate there, right? Or had
We have
drinks
beers.
there? Okay. So, Big John, he was a football player, and I'm not a sports guy, so I had to memorize this crap. As you can tell, I'm not a football guy. So, Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. This was his bar. He sat in the back, and he used to tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys come in, they're not old enough to drink. He has the bartender throw them out. They leave pretty mad. They come back the next night and try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John sees what's going on, gets up from the bar, and just starts beating the heck out of these guys, pounding them into the floor. They try to steal his money. So, he recognized them from the night before, obviously. So, what happens from there is a couple of shots go off. John gets hit in the neck, and then the bullet lands in the wall. John got up after being shot, goes back to the bar, and tells the bartender to get him another beer, get the 2 guys on the floor, and ambulance. So, yes, I know, John's the only one that got shot. He's the only one that got up. So what's haunting the place is the bullet hole. It's allegedly still here. In the front of the bar, people tend to get a little queasy, nauseous, or headaches. I bring this up on purpose. It is a heated warning. We will be dealing with paranormal activity tonight. If anybody feels any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately so we can get everybody to safety. So, I had...
It's not the end.
Yeah, I know that's probably the scariest thing I will probably tell you all night long. So, just so you know.
Is that if you feel sick to your stomach to let you know?
Exactly, or even a headache. So,
Okay.
it's happened. And we'll talk about somebody that passed out just a few weeks ago at a specific location once we get there. Yes. It's very interesting because it ties into the story that's there, depending on, like, based on who that person was. It's very interesting. I'm not the ghost. I promise you.
Right?
Yeah, is he
I'm
real?
telling you.
Maybe this is all fake.
Checking you girls out. Just making, checking you out.
Right?
Did you guys take any other Charleston historical tours at all?
You're at first.
Okay.
With the boom.
Okay. Did anybody talk about the big earthquake we had here in 1886?
No.
We had a big one. It was a 7.4 on the Richter. Yeah, based on the amount of damage, because the Richter wasn't even there yet. We didn't have one yet. So, this is allegedly where the first death occurred. So, the white mantle you see in the middle of the building also wraps around the front. Apparently, a piece of that broke off, struck somebody in the back of the head, and killed him, and they say you could see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. Now, I said apparently and allegedly a lot with that story because I don't have any proof. It's just a great segue so nobody's thinking about getting sick on the tour.
That's so grand.
I was like, you planted the seed.
I know, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, we're going this way.
All right.
This is so cool.
I do too. That's what I told them. I said it's interactive, so it's gonna be so much better than
Yes.
just
Absolutely. You ready, Mom?
Yep.
I wish I had walking sticks.
I was gonna
Oh, I
say.
tell ya.
Dad, you
He
need to
could've
buy
used some
one
of
here
that.
for your collection.
No.
Or one of those pins you always get and put on your big one.
This is slightly creepy.
I know, right?
I mean, totally
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Totally fine.
Yep. When I use it daily, I can find things in the dark. All right, so we have everybody? Cool. So welcome to the Big Red Barn lot. So this is going to be kind of like your level 1 and your ghost hunting 101 course that you're taking with me. So this is a very simple history. Again, it's so I can bounce around with all of you and show you a little bit more about your devices. This is where we keep your horses for the carriage rides. Okay, you guys can probably smell them. I'm immune to it because I'm here 6 nights a week. So this is the same Big Red Barn where we held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. That's the only history I know. 1860s to 1920s, approximately. So, let's talk about spirit boxes. We got, what, 4 of them running tonight? So, I use several different types of spirit boxes. I had to do a quick count in my head, sorry. So, spirit boxes, this is not television. This is not, is somebody here? Because if somebody answers no, somebody's here. Okay? They answered you. Like, we're going to stay away from yes and no questions all night long. It's too easy to misconstrue that for something else. You guys are all here for paranormal proof, and we're going to hopefully get it for you. So, if somebody's here, tell me what color the Big Red Barn is. Obviously, you're looking and listening for the color red. That includes your spirit box as well. So, again, 3 of your spirit boxes are using DJs and song lyrics to convey messages back to us. The word red might not be in there. But what color is the Big Red Barn? Fire truck, blood, heart. Those 3 things are specifically red. So, that would be a legitimate answer. I've seen it in the past. However, things that are not legitimate, like always red, like t-shirt or hat or whatever the case might be, even if it's something relevant with Red of Us, I'm going to pretty much discount it as not relevant at all. We're close to Big John's, so I normally require 2 different clues unless it's a direct answer like what color is the Big Red Barn? Red. So if you hear the number 40 and you've got the word art on your digital spirit box, Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. You see where I need those double clues to kind of verify what the heck's going on? lot of the stories tonight that we're going to go through, we're talking about, you know, olden times, 200-300 years ago. These people have the same names: Charles, Eliza, Georges. There's going to be a lot of them. We need to know who the hell we're talking to.
Right.
So that's kind of the mentality that we're going to be using with these spirit boxes tonight. And again, we're throwing everything we have at this instead of just one device at a time. Obviously, I'll be putting clues together based on what everybody's telling me. So what happens from here is we are going to stay within the confines of the slot. I'm going to bounce around with every single one of you. I'm going to start with the 2 cameras. I keep them with me while everybody else kind of can spread about. As far as the other, you have the EMF. Has it gone off at all?
It's just got like this.
It's touching the cell phone.
Aggression.
It's gonna, there you go. Yeah.
I'm already messing it up.
So there's a debunking right away, but right now it's not. So obviously whatever you're getting could be coming from the building, or it could be coming from the kind of spirit world that we're looking for.
Okay.
So let's start off with the cameras, spirit boxes. Start asking questions of things you know the answers to. Let's see if we can capture.
I just wondered what that means.
What do you got?
Aggression.
Probably part of the 80%. So again, this app is meant to try to scare people. So you're going to see a lot of
I
like.
don't, but
I just hit that
earlier
when I see-
when I was looking at the
When I come up to you and
at
say,
the
hey,
light,
where we at with the
like up
list?
above,
That's
it's
all
like
you and I can kind of look at it together.
Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
looking for certain. Okay.
so to me it's like right above the shed. So why is it so cold above there?
So it doesn't know what to measure with the sky. This only looks for surfaces.
See, yeah.
So
So
Because it's like 35 degrees.
See there, yeah.
So I was
So-
like, why is it 35 degrees
So your
there?
blue dot, if the
Okay.
sky is in view, will automatically go to the sky because it doesn't know what to measure.
Okay. Okay,
So-
so kind of keep it down.
Yeah, you want to try to. You're not going to be able to the whole night. I can guarantee you that. Because there's certain areas it's too open. It's not going to be enclosed like this.
Okay.
So do me a favor and point your camera at this wall. I want to make a point.
My camera? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So you should have the wall is mainly red. Watch what happens when my hand comes into view.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hello. Yeah.
So you want to try to keep somebody's skin. Anybody. We have a pretty large party tonight. It's going to be easy to find somebody. The reason for that is
Okay.
because when there's an array of color, it's a lot easier to see those differences of things that shouldn't be there.
So keep somebody human that we know
That we know.
in it. Okay.
In it.
Okay.
So
okay.
again,
I
you
can do
can
that.
see obviously the difference with my hand getting into view, which
Yes,
is probably
absolutely.
a good 98 degrees, versus the wall, which is probably, I'm going to guess, around 72
Yep.
to 74.
74. Yep. Okay,
So
okay.
just try to. Nice slow movements with that always make for a
Slow
nice video to
movements.
watch. And even when we do our start and stops, I'll always give you the cues for that of when we're going to start and stop your videos on both of your ends. But with that said, you always want to try to keep that camera to the left. Otherwise, because I splice them all together, and then they go to YouTube and then back to my website so you guys can watch it. YouTube doesn't like the flippies between the videos. That's why I say keep the camera on your
I
left.
gotcha.
So
I have to totally interrupt you, but it says 7:25 and it hasn't moved yet.
Yep, don't worry about that. I'm
That's
more
fine.
worried about the orange square. So
Orange
when I
square.
tell you to stop your video, you're going to hit the square. It'll turn to a circle.
Oh, okay, perfect.
That's the
okay.
only thing I'm worried about. That timer
Okay.
goes wonky all the time.
Okay, we'll keep this away from there.
There
All
you
right.
go.
All right. Okay.
As far as your video goes, so your video, what I'm looking for here.
I'm gonna take a picture here.
Sally was, I think.
I have my digital camera, but I can't do it. I got too much going on.
You got too busy. Hey, Chris. Let me take my camera. So mine sounds like a radio station. I get like warranty and music playing. So
Yep, that's exactly what we're listening for. So
Okay.
again, it's a 50-50 shot.
okay.
So with yours, that's what we're listening for. Think of it as the two Transformers or Bumblebee costume or everything.
I don't know how to work this thing.
something
So
else.
it's just a random.
Oh, wait, that.
So if I ask a question, then it says a word that answers it, or just a random word. No matter what.
Oh,
With
oh!
this type of mentality, it's always they're going to reach for words, especially if it's perfect to them.
Okay.
For example, if it's something about horses, you know, people might get something really fast, color today.
Okay.
You heard the word horses, it's definitely relevant.
Okay. Sounds good.
I feel like this is something strong.
What you got?
I don't know. Look at that guy.
So you're right around the 20 range?
What do you think? Is this nothing?
No. Where are you standing?
I don't know.
You're not next to a building.
Right?
The phone's not next to it.
All right.
And you're standing on top of a sewer line. So there's no electrical lines anywhere.
No, I feel like I'm on something.
So one of your spirit box folks should be listening in.
Spirit box folks, we need somebody.
I've not heard anything at all.
Okay, so
I don't know.
it's moving.
Yeah.
Have you turned the volume up?
No.
Oh, now it's gone.
That's why they call it ghost hunting. They don't stay in the same spot.
Son of a biscuit.
What is your name?
Now it's gone.
There's a wheel right here.
Maybe it's because I got close to you.
I got too many things going on.
What's your favorite
Maybe
color?
you... Can you walk and do
I can
that?
walk with this.
Okay.
You want to walk with us a little bit? We're just right here.
Well, just walk with
I can
that.
take your walking sticks.
Put your
Walk
phone...
around a little bit.
Yeah, do that with that. That's awesome.
Take that. And then watch for it to go up and like get into the red. It needs to get up like up in here.
Okay.
So start walking around.
She's not asking Sophia. What's your favorite hair color? What's your favorite type of flower? I don't know how this works. Never done this.
What's that? Like when it gets orange, red? Yeah. Okay.
So now we need a spirit box by you to see if we hear anything. Oh, I just got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps. That's weird.
Right, okay, go back that way maybe?
Where is my mom to my direction? I think so.
Idle.
You want to swap?
No.
didn't know what we're doing.
Like, you know,
Most of my-
cellular, you know, what is it? Whatever it's called. You know,
Psychics
the
and
guy
mediums?
that does, yeah.
So most of my circle of friends are psychics or mediums.
Okay.
People that I actually believe in.
Yeah.
So that's
Have you spoken to people through them?
sure. You gotta remember these are friends. Like they call me up and say, your grandmother like won't leave me alone. Kind of mentality. So, yeah, that's the kind of circle I keep. What do you got?
Nothing. I keep getting radio stations and I go all around.
You want the radio?
I tried it everywhere.
Heard anything on
I
your
can't do
agenda?
anything.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm
No, it's hard to do.
It's incredibly hard to do. I'm asking.
Put that settings around with it?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm asking
listening.
what I know how to ask.
Yours is the one I said.
It's like kind of like a pattern. There will be.
All right, I say we go learn some real history. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get everybody going this way.
Let's go, Mom.
Ruth's already ahead of us.
So when you say though that sometimes
That happens all the time too. Sometimes it happens without them wanting it to happen.
yeah.
Like, I knew you were gonna talk
So
about
it's
that.
not necessarily just
I've been on tours where it didn't matter what story I told. Everything was geared towards somebody's recently deceased loved one. Happens all the time. Nothing to do.
It's not dead people.
right. Yeah, we know of it.
Very true.
How did I know that?
Pretty enough horsepower. I'm pretty.
You know.
Whoa.
You watch your stuff.
I don't know what it smells like.
Steak?
Steak?
Smells like steak.
You say smells like Satan?
Steak.
Steak and Satan are the same thing.
And we've had a lot of Satan.
Then Satan smells good. Yes.
Yeah.
That was from your movement. All right, so
So I've got it going into red right here. I don't know.
I'm not surprised. So this is probably one of my busiest locations. We're going to pull you guys in a little bit further because that's the only entrance and exit to this parking lot. Yes, I know another beautiful site of Charleston. Which, by the way, if you guys don't know where to park by the time you're done with me, you have issues I just can't fix. I'm sorry. So, places like this are great because they used to be something. So that's why they're so great for this type of tour. That's actually going to go probably bonkers. If it started when we first walked in, it's going to go nuts almost the entire time we're here.
Okay.
That's a good sign. So, you guys will also see me taking notes based on some of the things that are going on too. So, this location used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. So, the mansion actually sat in the front facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with that empty parking space to the right of the truck and came all the way across. And we are standing where the slave and servant quarters would have been for the home. So, who the heck were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? They had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Charleses. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. However, you all are on vacation, and I don't want to talk about politics either, especially South Carolinian politics. So, with your spirit boxes in this location, I'm not going to be giving you questions like, what color is George Washington's white horse? You will be getting the questions and the answers. I'll give you kind of prompted questions, but you can use them or you can go rogue. But you're going to get the answers from your spirit box. I'm not going to give them to you until before we leave. So, Eliza married Charles at a young age. I'm not going to tell you how old she was, but Charles was over double her age. So that kind of gives you the gist of what the age gap was between them. It's not as creepy as it sounds, girls. So, once you actually get the answers, you'll see. So, with that said, she married him because her father, who was over in England, thought he was dying. And he wanted to see all of his kids one last time. And Eliza didn't think he was dying. So she stayed put and she got married. This is the 1740s, 1745 to be exact. There's no such thing as citizenship. There's no such thing as a green card. She actually married this man out of love, even double her age. Over double her age, by the way. Yeah, happens. So, she was right. Dad got better. He starts sending over gifts from England. One of those gifts happen to be the plant indigo. You guys have all been here for at least a day that I know of. You've probably seen the word indigo somewhere, and you didn't even realize what you were looking at. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. You're wearing it all over right now. So that's how we still use it today. So it started right here in her garden, and she learned from her slaves how to keep it cultivated in our weird temperatures. It's not always warm here. As you can see, it's starting to cool down a little bit. January, February, it's downright cold, even for this northerner over here. So once she had it all squared away, she moved it to a plantation in Mount Pleasant, and then she called her dad up, not really because there's no phones yet, girls, and said, hey, I need somewhere to sell this stuff because the rice plantations are going downhill. So now we have an international businesswoman in colonial times, something absolutely unheard of in this country. So, big deal on Eliza Pinckney. There's a couple of weird facts about her that you guys can ask about on your spirit boxes that she loves to answer. Obviously, I told you about the marriage, correct? So you can ask the ages. The mansion, it's no longer here. What happened to it? When did that happen? Obviously, we're talking about some type of tragedy. It's the only clue I'm going to give you there. Ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. Eliza, how old were you when you got married? Or how old were you got married? How old were you when you died? What did you die from? Where are you buried? And what U.S. president was a pallbearer at your funeral? These are specific answers. So fingers crossed we're going to get a few of those answers tonight. The children, you already know there's at least one named Charles. So the one thing I'll ask is don't poke the bear with the kids. There was more than one. Maybe get how many, get their names, and leave it alone. There's a tragedy among those children that she does not want to talk about. If she does, if we start poking a bear, all activity, including EMF readings, will stop. I've seen it dozens and dozens of times. We're on a full moon tonight. Fingers crossed it's going to actually enhance what we're about to go through. So let's just not poke the bear and ruin it for everybody. I think
So it's stopping means that she left.
they have never done an archaeological dig on this site. There's no electrical lines anywhere. There's no reason why that should be going off even that far away from that wire from the telephone pole right there. So she's going to find as she kind of goes through, and you're going to find as you walk through this lot, I've seen that thing spike at 150 in here. Keep in mind, this one goes to 25. That's it. That's when it's on red. So 150, I'm hopefully going to see triple digits out of your device tonight. Last but not least, Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. So that's 2 Elizas and 3 Charleses. Both Elizas go by their maiden name. That's the name they had before they were married. They both start with the letter L, ironically. So try to find out which Eliza we're talking to. We will spend a good 10 minutes in here based on the amount of activity as I bounce around with each of you and see what's going on. And you will see me taking notes in a little notepad like a nerdy little writer guy, because that's exactly what I am. So this is where we're going to spread out. We are going to stay within the confines of the lot. Let's see what we can come up with. Go find us some good EMF. You should be following the K2 and the millimeter, because that's where the activity is going to show up the most.
You want to put your phone away again? I'll take your phone. Okay, there you go.
If you hold it instead of tap it like that,
Okay.
you get it. It'll come up.
Okay.
That one's actually that's the next piece we're actually upgrading to the next level of it. Because it gets kind of a pain in the butt to get for attachments and that kind of thing. So.
I hear diseases.
I already heard that too.
Diseases.
Yep. And you're on the right path of how she died.
Minister?
Okay, so if it's flashing red like this,
Okay, that thing's, I've already notated it. It's because what I do is I take the spike from this and the one from the millimeter, and that's kind of the highlight. They basically should be falling here. What are you catching on yours?
Is this what I'm supposed to do, right?
You got
Back, check out everybody.
it. You got it.
I'll get something.
Now you also have a center crosshairs too that'll give you a temperature of whatever's in the middle. You see it?
Yep.
So if
I
you
see
need to
it.
move the camera to kind of see what's going on with one specific temperature, you can. I left that on there on purpose.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of keep following everybody around. Yeah? Let me. What you got? A little red light? Let me turn towards you.
Eliza, are you here with us? Wait, I got red over here. See that?
What's your name? Who are you?
I could keep my sticks.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Keep walking around.
Boys.
Just the one thing. That's the one time over there, though.
Hard to hear.
I know. I'm trying.
And that thing is just constant. You can see that thing a mile away.
Yeah. No. Back over here and over here.
What kind of thing does Christy have again?
She's got something hooked up to her ear. I don't know if it's this, but it's more modified. Like, this is like the earlier
Modified.
version one, and then
Oh, there we go. 2 reds. Nobody.
Turn it up. Like, what's it say?
Do you see anything pointing my way?
Oh, I don't see anything at all. Who's here? Who are you?
really deep. It's part of a song, it's a rap song. Are you getting anything, Christy?
Have you heard anything on yours? That's definitely when things happen between the devices. That's also signs of things going on.
I heard more like twice. And then they go like 45, like 44. And it's so weird because I was like literally attracted to like 4.
So when I have smaller birds, I'll take a spirit box and I'll kind of put it. Let's say I would take a spirit box and kind of separate from that bird, and I'll take questions like, "Hey Eliza, how many people did I bring with me?" And then they'll turn around and say the number 2. So that way the answers can go anywhere. There are 4 spirit boxes plus 2 pieces of audio between thermal imaging camera and my audio.
My kids would kill me right at this point.
Like, this is so boring.
No,
She heard number 4 twice, and she heard number 1.
Here, I'll swap you.
no, I don't want to be responsible.
You know, I don't want to be responsible.
Yes, Mom, get those camera skills in.
Have you guys gotten anything?
Couldn't see.
I can't see anything either.
I mean, there for a little while, she stuff was.
This thing went up to orange.
I feel like we need to keep moving.
What?
I didn't realize that. Like, in the video, like,
Really?
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. Oh, hello.
yeah. I'm very glad you're
Let's
visiting
hear it.
with me.
Let me see what it says. I want to hear
You
what
got
it sounds
only-
like.
It's very difficult to do.
Okay.
I just said you have to get this video right. So you have to. Thank you for talking to me, Eliza. Someday I hope to bring my daughters here to visit me. Do you remember how many daughters I told you I had? Can you tell me what your
Children.
favorite plant was in the garden?
She had 4 children.
Eliza, what was your favorite color?
I can't tell. This thing's confusing.
Yeah.
Stop, isn't it?
What do you think? I think Miss Eliza's hanging out with us tonight.
Yes, she
There's a lot
is.
going on.
Yep.
So, let me take a look at your word list. 'Cause there's. Wow, you guys are all getting stuff around these kids.
Questioning our marriage.
Children. Came up with.
So everybody's asking about the kids, and,
Yeah.
and now you have the word children. So, well, everybody's asking about the kids.
Child bride. Okay.
Not a child bride. Not even close
I
to
don't
being a
even
child
know.
bride. Nope.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Then it wasn't me. I did nothing.
Wasn't me.
Okay. I didn't drive her away or anything. Okay.
Any luck out of yours yet?
No.
No, she wasn't.
I have asked every single freaking question I can ask. I'm freaking done with that shit. I literally have gone through everything I could think of.
And you guys can switch up devices among your party if you'd like.
No, it's fine. She's having fun with us.
I just didn't know if she wanted to take a listen to that. Maybe
No.
she'll actually listen.
She's having a lot of fun with us.
Staring at blinky blinkies.
Yeah.
It's like watching a Christmas tree,
I
right?
know. She's like, ooh, where do I go? Where do I go? She's having fun.
Like, obviously, she's got a lot going on right now.
I know.
But everything that's come up so far is about the
Children?
Everything that I'm waiting for a few extra clues that are going to hopefully come up that'll kind of tie it all together. Because some of them are kind of loose, like just the word children.
How old were you when you got married?
You guys know she's not in the box, right?
I don't know what it.
It's not a walkie-talkie.
You never know. Yeah.
Maybe she's in there.
If I'm carrying her around and back home again,
No kidding.
my new house would be a whole hell of a lot more haunted than what it already is.
Is it haunted?
I don't know yet. It is on. It's brand new.
Oh.
Like brand new. Like the day they finished it, we moved in the next day.
Oh, fun.
And it is on top of an old plantation.
Oh, it's probably haunted.
Yeah, more than likely. I'm still doing the research before I dive in.
Yeah.
I've had some weird things happen already.
No kidding.
So part of the reason why we moved there is because I needed an office. You know, something a little bit more private for the podcast and phone calls every day and all that stuff. And I'm usually up pretty late because when I get home, I plug in all this stuff and get it ready to upload. So my first cup of coffee, I can start listening and watching. I go back to bed. My wife's already asleep, and 3 times now, we've been there a month. I walk in, and the whole room leans to the left, like the whole room. Like I literally have to hang on to the bed, and the dogs are like trying to jump off the bed to get to me. To me, the whole room just leans left. It's the craziest thing. It's
I mean, that sounds normal.
I don't drink at all.
I mean,
Not a drop.
it sounds completely
Sounds like
normal.
vertigo. Like when we have vertigo, you're like,
Yeah,
It's the
whenever
only
they're-
time it happens, when I'm
That's
going in
strange.
there at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
crazy.
We were in that church bar and they said that some bottles come off the wall.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yep. Crazy.
All the time.
Crazy, crazy.
And hopefully one day they'll actually allow me to go in there and figure
Video
it out,
it.
prove it, and debunk it or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
I can't believe they don't have, like, cameras in there at night. Why wouldn't you
To
have
watch
cameras
it?
in there to watch
Oh, I
it?
know.
Well,
That'd
they
be
need to just
awesome.
let me do it and I'll make it a podcast episode and prove or debunk it.
Yeah, because I guarantee
That'd
there'd
be
be
cool.
more people in there than it was haunted.
Yeah, but a lot of we're in the South.
They don't like that?
Not always.
Oh.
A lot of times, like when I'm trying to find new locations, it's a lot of door slams. A lot of door slams.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, I actually asked to go back into a place that I've already investigated, but I wanted to do kind of like a one-site location with tickets and like show people what we're doing out here in like the Myrtle Beach area. This guy immediately emailed me back with a "not interested, thank you." I was like, dude, I was just up there 8 years ago. Watch the car.
We went and did a tour at it's the oldest bar, or one of the oldest bars in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Al Capone's place, when they found bodies buried in the cement in a restaurant, and they took us down there. That was way cool.
That is cool.
That is really cool. All right, let me bounce around
Okay.
one more time, unless you've got something
Okay.
going on.
No. Back row.
Seems to got quiet.
It's quiet? I wonder if I should go to the bathroom at Big John's again, or whatever.
Sort of for you with this. Backing up.
Yep. I don't know. Okay.
So I can actually tell you guys this way to take other cars that fly in. I'll give you guys some answers. I don't want Ruth swinging her canes at cars.
Well, you never
Tell
know.
them to back off. You betcha. All right, so we have a couple of weird things going on. It seems to
You
all
don't,
be
you don't.
tying into the kids. So we have the word children. Let's go ahead and turn off that little white button in the back, just so I'm not interrupted 1,000 times. Your volume's at the top, remember? So we have the word children that came up. We've also, everybody pretty much asked how many children she had. The number 4 came up
Yeah.
on Ella's Spirit Box twice. So we've got the number 4. Keep in mind, when you guys are asking questions like this, the answers can go anywhere. 4 Spirit Boxes, 2 pieces of audio between my audio and then the thermal imaging audio. That camera audio sucks because it's in a waterproof box, so it doesn't have great audio. You'll hear that it's muffled. As far as the other pieces that I'm kind of like, what else is going on, is we have the word soldier on that digital Spirit Box word list. One of the sons was a soldier in a Revolutionary War battle called the Battle of Camden. So I'll go through that in just a moment. But again, I'm looking for those extra clues which you guys haven't given me, so that means I have to go through the recordings and kind of see what else is there to kind of tie it up. We also have the number 1 that showed up on Ella's Spirit Box, and that's relevant, and I'll give you the reason why.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
First and foremost, let's go through Eliza's death. She died at the age of 70 in 1793. That's a long time to be living in colonial times, especially for a woman. She died of breast cancer. Now, keep in mind, it's 1793. We didn't even know what breast cancer was yet. We're going based off of her medical records. So, kind of keep that in mind. She was in Philadelphia when she died, getting treatment for whatever they thought she had. We all heard the word disease come out of, I think, your Spirit Box when we first got started. So again, we were on the right path. But that's also where she's buried. If that doesn't tell you the reason, why we don't actually go to cemeteries, we're not going to get a lot of activity because none of you are going to hang out near your burial site when you're gone. You're going to go to your beautiful mansion in Charleston, 400 miles away. That's why we're here. So, the pallbearer that was a president at her funeral, George Washington. So the number 1 is relevant, and it was at his own request that he took her to her grave. So if that wasn't an honor that she didn't know about, just kind of think of that as, but then we're dealing with other Georges, which I'm going to get to in a second. So if I hear the name George, we also have the number 1 that showed up. If we get president somewhere, that's obviously going to be relevant as well. And that'll define which George we're talking about. 4 children, which I already mentioned. We had Charles, signer of the Constitution. Thomas fought in the Battle of Camden. His left leg, got shattered by a musket ball during that battle, and he was captured. So, again, lots of very relevant terms can come up around his specific story. Then there was Baby George. Baby George didn't make it. That's the tragedy I told y'all not to kind of poke the bear with. We don't know if this baby was days or weeks old. The month and year are the same as his birth and death. So, kind of keep that in mind. Oh. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Oh.
Then there was one daughter, period. She actually married in Horry. Myrtle Beach is Horry County, so this wouldn't have been a 2.5-hour car ride with your daughter. This would have been a lot of letter writing. So again, anything related to the daughter, usually around letters, paper, pen, ink, published. All of those letters that they wrote back and forth were published into one volume. So kind of keep that in mind as well as I'm going through your gap. So far we're dealing with 2 Georges, the president and the son. Baby George was named after Eliza's father. So now we have a 3rd George. Eliza's maiden name was Lucas, the one with the indigo. So that makes her father's name George Lucas. Just easy for me to remember because I'm a big movie buff. So, let's see here. What else? Oh, the mansion caught fire in the year 1861, almost 70 years after Eliza's death. Yeah. Well, this is Charleston. Everything catches on fire in Charleston. So this particular fire actually started by a bunch of homeless people by the Harris Teeter is now, came down East Bay Street, took out half the mansion, and then literally went to the other side of the peninsula. This was a huge fire. So again, it comes up a lot with the word fire. So we'll kind of see else comes up with that later on. I've also gotten 1861, not 18, but 61 will show up from time to time. So again, I've only given you questions that I get the answers to on a regular basis. I also played a little word trick on all of you. When we first started, I said I won't be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, putting the name George Washington in the back of your subliminal mind. None of you came up with George Washington as the president. That was the pallbearer, so you all passed with a fail. Good job. So, it's the only word trick that I will play on you all night long. From here, Now, again, I'm seeing some things. Am I like super excited about all of this? Not necessarily. Not until I go through the data in the morning to see if there's other ties. A lot of vague terms. We did have some of a feeling where, you know, hair was standing up on the back of somebody's neck and that kind of mentality here. I normally don't go based on feelings, but again, it did occur, so that is personal to you. But with that said,
Yeah, that's happened to me like 4 times already.
so I get asked often if, like, and just like you did, you know, do I communicate? I do not. Do I use other things that are not electronics? I do, but of course, that's not something I normally discuss on the tours, or do I discuss unless somebody asks me after we're off of the air. So we'll kind of go through that if you guys want to later on at the end of this. But what's going to happen from here is we're going to walk up to Lodge Alley. It's a good 3 blocks away, so I'll go at a decent pace. Your EMF meters, so that would be, who has them now? You have one, and then yours, they're going to go off because of the parking meters.
Okay.
You can ignore your readings.
Okay.
So again, I don't want you guys getting excited about false positives. As far as the filming, we can stop filming on both cameras at this point, so go ahead and hit your red circle. Here, it just randomly comes up. I get the same names every 6 to 7 weeks. So I kind of see that pattern. It's always Benjamin and John. Those 2 lived here in 1801. That's 2 out of 5 people that I hear the same names from common. So I don't think that it's ironic that it's the same names over and over and over again. Every once in a while, I get a 3rd name. That name is Jane. She also lived here in 1801. So again, something must have happened down here that's not on record that I can't find in 1801. The reason this is called Lodge Alley is because this is where the Freemasons had their Masonic Lodge. That was before people lived here. I will get terms like Mason, Illuminati, clay, which is the kind of bricks you're walking on, bricks, those kind of things. I get it all the time. So just last week we had the word Mason show up again. So again, not a whole lot of information other than the record that it actually was here. The building you guys are leaning on, the yellow building, is Lodge Alley Inn, obviously named after the alley. Every hotel down here has a claim of a ghost. It's okay. Yeah, not my building. Don't want to sit on the lines. With that said, next summer, the wife and I will be doing a round robin of all of these haunted claims around town and figuring out if they're actually real or not. So those will all be podcast episodes, and I will reveal every piece of evidence that I come up with. So again, this will probably be right on the list because room 304 is one of the most haunted rooms in town. So we'll kind of see how this goes. What's going to happen from here, this is kind of a pit stop. So as we go through the rest of this alley, we're going to be cutting through a neighborhood. I am definitely looking, there's definitely an Alex here. I just need to look up the name, or what year he was actually here. You're going to get that full list, because obviously I need to show you that Alex was somebody. Interesting. You heard anything else?
I also heard like some numbers, like
I heard 5-5.
5-5, yeah, like 19-5.
Nothing.
Sometimes you sit there and you're trying to process it in your head a little bit.
I think like just
Weird,
5 in
it's like,
general.
did I hear that?
Yeah, I listen to it every morning. You don't have to tell me.
No, it probably invades your
Also,
sleep.
like 5-5 was weird because like we were passing by the numbers like of like the thingies, like it was 49. That's close to like 50, like 55.
Yeah, but I'm going to look at the list from Lodge Alley and see if 1855 matches up with the names that we have so far. So I've already written them down because I heard you say that. So that way I can look them up in the morning. So this is Philadelphia Alley. It's called that because after dueling became illegal and stupid, he had to name it something else. So he named it after a city that saved us from one of our many, many fires. So that's why it's called Philadelphia Alley. However, this is where the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Take 20 paces, turn and shoot. Yep. So we all talk about one specific duel because I can prove it. It actually happened, and these people actually did exist, and a lot of activity. It's locked. Like you can't. It's because this is some kind of like daycare center. I don't know what this is exactly, but I know during the daytime, like there's kids outside playing and whatever. But again, it's always locked. So but yeah, that's the reason why that death gate is there. So the doctor didn't come through there. His friends would have, carried him all the way around. And we're on Church Street. And another little tidbit about where the doctor lived at 59 Church Street. It's the only historical marker in town on a house that actually tells the story of a ghost. And it tells the doctor's ghost story. So, and his name is Joseph Brown Ladd. I don't think I gave that to you at the beginning. So we don't have any terms that showed up on the spirit box over there, but I'm going to point out a few other things. So we're at St. Philip Cemetery. For there's two different sides to the cemetery. So this one is where native Charlestonians are buried. So if you're from here, you get buried on this side. This is where Eliza's husband Charles was buried. I give you that idea. The other side is for everybody else. For your history buffs, John Calhoun is buried on the other side. You can visit his sarcophagus. He was our 7th.
Hold still. Actually,
So, you guys can't see it with your own eyes, but the steeple itself has been affected by that earthquake that I told you guys about earlier. It does lean to the left. It's not like going to top, but measurement-wise, yes, it does lean slightly to the left. All right, everybody got their crazy pictures? Let's get into some
Seriously, I just heard the word left.
You heard left?
Yes.
All right, everybody gather around. Ghost story time.
ghost songs I've heard.
We're going to get you listening, and you're going to hopefully
Okay.
capture a lot here.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we're going to be talking about the building with the crosses on it. So first off, those are not crosses, those are earthquake bolts. Earthquake bolts, the gist of those is that they're turnbuckles. If we have another earthquake, like we did in 1886, which we haven't, they can tighten up those turnbuckles and it'll straighten the building back up again. The only reason I bring that up is because those are the very first earthquake bolts that we put in Charleston. You guys have probably seen them all over town in the shape of pineapples and lions and all kinds of craziness because it's just part of our Charleston charm. This is the oldest government building in South Carolina. This is the gunpowder magazine. It held gunpowder for 7 different wars, including the Civil War. That was its last service. I told you all about the original Charlestown walls earlier. This is Cumberland Street that I was talking about. This is where the wall came up. It went up past the powder magazine and started going south behind me towards the battery. The reason for that, it would lock the